All right, so today we are going to study about implementation of polymorphism. What is polymorphism and different types of polymorphism? So, in this lecture, we are going to work out with, first of all, we'll understand what is polymorphism. So basically, when we say polymorphism, this particular polymorphism can be divided into two words. It is a combination of two Greek words. One is poly and another word is called as the morphism. So what does poly means? Poly means many, right? Poly means many and morphism means form. So we can say this particular word gives you the meaning as many forms. So basically what happens, we can say a particular word can give you different meanings at different places. The same word can give you many or different meanings in different places. If I take an example, let's say person, you are the person, maybe let's say this is person X, right? This particular person is working or behaving as a customer when he is shopping in the mall, right? When he is shopping in the mall, he is behaving like a customer. And he is behaving like a passenger when he is riding in the bus. Okay? The same person can be called as the student when he is studying in the school, and the same person can be a daughter or a son when he or she is at home. So we can see that the same person can be named differently in the different conditions. Okay, so here we talk about the function. I've given you example of person, but here we need to define the function. That means when more than one function is used in the same program with the same name. When we are using more than one function with the same name, that particular condition is called as the polymorphism. So basically we have two types of polymorphism. They are, the first one is called as the static polymorphism, or it is also called as compile time or early binding polymorphism. The second type is called as the dynamic or runtime polymorphism or the late binding polymorphism. Now this static is further divided into function overloading and the operator overloading. Now function overloading, basically function and method, these are two names for the one thing. That is, we can use the name as functions also, and method is also the same as function. We can also call it as method. So it can be called as function overloading or method overloading, function overriding or method overriding. So it can be done in two ways. One is called as the function overloading and other one as the function overriding. Now let's understand what this function overloading is. See, function overloading is when in a program I'm using two functions or more than one function, right? Two or more functions, and that particular function is having same name, but it has different parameters or different number of parameters, right? So that particular is called as the function overloading. Let's understand this with the help of an example. Let's say if I say sum, okay? Sum is a function. Int a and int b, comma int b. So see here we have two parameters, right? So this is one function. We can have one more function with the same name as sum, another function with the same name as sum, and here I can have three parameters, int a, b, it will be again int b, comma int c. So here you can see these are two functions with the same name but different parameters, different number of parameters. The parameters can also be different. It can be in one function we have float values, in other function we have integer values. So this particular is called as the function overloading. How to implement it? Let's see. Let's take an example. We have a class called as addition. Okay, in this is defined as the public specifier void sum. We have this particular function as void sum int a and int b. It is having two arguments, two parameters. So the function is what it is going to do. It is going to give a print, that is c out greater than a plus b colon. That means it will give you the value as a plus b, whatever the a and b are. Next function is void sum. This is first function with the name sum, and it is having two arguments. Another one is void sum int a, int b and int c. That means again the same function with the same name, but it has three arguments, right? Three parameters are there, and it will do what? It will give the printout that is c out greater than sign a plus b inverted quotes, and it will give you the value of a plus b plus c. Curly braces close, closing of function and closing of class with the semicolon, right? So this is another function. Now you can see in the same class we have two functions with the same name. Now in the main program we are going to call this int main. I'm going to instantiate this particular class addition, that is I'm going to create an object with name obj of class addition. Now I'm going to call the functions, that is obj.sum. Here I'm passing two values, that is two arguments 10 plus 10 comma 20, right? C out greater than sign and that means we will move to next line. Obj.sum, here I'm going to call another function with three values. So when I give this particular statement, it will jump to this particular compiler, will jump to this particular program and it will execute these lines and execute this function. And when I'm writing this particular function with three parameters, it is going to execute this particular function, right? So now what it is, and then I'm missing is return 0, right? You can write it in complete sentence. Output will be what? Output you can see here, sum 10 plus 10 comma 20. So a plus b is equal to a plus b colon, it will give you the value 30. So a plus b is 10 plus 20, so that will be 30. Next line, it will move to next line. The next function will be called sum 10 comma 20 comma 30. So here it is integer a b c. So that means a plus b plus c, it will give the value as 10 plus 20 plus 30 as 60. So this is the output. This is how we are going to implement the function overloading, right? Now next we are going to talk about function overriding. Now what is this function overriding? The difference between function overloading and function overriding is we have the function with the same name and with the same parameters, that is called as the function overriding. Same name with the same parameter is function overriding, while when we have same name with the different parameters is overloading, right? So now we are going to see how we are going to work out with the function overriding. That means when we have same name functions and with the same parameters. So here we need to work out with the inheritance. We should use inheritance for using the function overriding. Now it cannot be done in a class. We need to have a derived class and a base class. And we know that how do we define the derived class? With the help of inheritance. So let's see the program. We have a base class. Let's say we have given the class name is base class. Okay. Public, this is the access specifier. Now we have defined a function void show. It is going to print base class. Close the class derived. public base. Now what it is doing, it is defining the inheritance. That means derived class is going to inherit the properties of base class publicly, right? Now public void show, again this is one more function. We are using the same function, you can see show, with no parameters at both places. But here the working it is doing is different. Here it is going to print the derived class, and earlier it was going to print the base class. And then we are going to close the curly braces, closing of class. So now we can see that in the main program, I'm going to do what? I'm going to instantiate the base class object and the derived class. So base B, this is, I'm creating an object with the name B of class base. And here I'm going to define the object with the name D of derived class. Now I'm going to call the function as B.show and D.show and return 0. Return 0, right? And I am going to close the curly braces. Now here what will happen? The output will be, now see, as soon as the B show is called, the compiler will run to this particular point, because B is the object of base class. So it is going to call the function show, while D is the object for derived class. So it is going to call the function this. So output will be base class, it will write the complete base class, and then it will write derived class. It will be in one line only, because I have not given any, next liner. So the output will be base class and derived class will be printed. So you can see we have the same function with the same name and same parameter. How we are going to use? We are going to use with the help of function overriding. This is how function overriding is done. Now next one is operator overloading. Now what is this operator overloading? Earlier we were talking about the function overloading. That means we had one function with same name. We had more than one function with same name and maybe different parameters or same parameters. Here we are talking about the operator. So that means what we have the operator with same name, but it is working differently at different places, right? So instead of function, we have operator with the same name and working differently at different places. So this is the another type of polymorphism, or it is also coming under the category of static or compile time polymorphism. So let's see type of polymorphism in which an operator is overloaded, right? Instead of function, operator is overloaded to give user defined meaning to it. Example, let's say we need to add two integers. I'm going to use the sign operator plus sign, I'm going to use plus operator, and to concatenate two strings, again I can use plus operator. So this is same operator using the different meaning. Let's take an example of the program. We have a class rectangle, public specifier. We have defined two variables, integer L and B, that is length and breadth. Rectangle, this, I have defined what? I have defined the rectangle. I have defined what? I have defined the length and breadth. This is constructor. I have defined the constructor here, right? For the class rectangle, constructor have the same name as the class name. So rectangle this, and I have initiated what? L is equal to 0 and B is equal to 0, colon. Now here, so this is what? This is the constructor. Now I'm going to define a function that is operator plus plus, right? So void operator plus plus braces. Here I have defined L plus is equal to 20 and B plus is equal to 20, right? Closed. Another function, this is for displaying of the detail, that is void display. It is going to print the length is this and breadth is this. Now in integer main program, what I'm going to do, I'm going to again instantiate the class rectangle. That means I'm going to create an object with the name R of rectangle class. Now I'm going to print length and breadth before increment. So here I have R dot display. I'm going to call this particular function R dot display. Okay, then I have incremented, I have used this operator plus plus R, right? Why R? Because this is the object. Okay, this is the operator and this is the object, plus plus R. Now again I'm going to print length breadth after increment. Then again I'm going to call R dot display, return 0 and close. So what will be the output for this? See, it will run integer main. Object is created for class rectangle, that is R. Print will be given as LB before increment, that is length breadth before increment. Display, it will move to the display, right, to this function. It will print what? Length colon L. So before increment, as soon as it will move to this, it will give you the value as L is equal to, it was initiated as 0 and B is equal to 0. So length colon 0, breadth colon 0. Now it will move forward. Next line, plus plus R. This is what it is going to move to this particular function operator. It is going to increment, right? Plus 2 plus 2. Now again it will print C out, that is length breadth after increment. So it is going to print length breadth after increment. Again R dot display. So again this will be done. Now we can see that plus plus R has already been executed. So it has been plus 2. Length 0 plus 2. So length colon 2 and breadth 0 plus 2, that is breadth 2. So this will be the output. So this is how we are going to do what? We are going to use the operator overloading. That means we are going to use the same operator with different working. Okay, so that's all for this particular lecture. Thank you very much.